Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including four-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a four-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
Three-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a three-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare two laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello and welcome to the Strength of Field race in the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. We are here for week 5 of this official series, season 4 of this championship. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Johan Kernes. Sam Kumo is operating the cameras, and Imola is our host for tonight, the Italian motorsports venue. Johan, really fun circuit this, I think, to drive, certainly for these drivers in these Radical SR8 machines. And yeah, hopefully we also see plenty of overtaking as well tonight, so it should be very satisfying to see these cars tackle this circuit tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good watch. I mean, Imola does play quite nicely with any kind of downforce. And I definitely look forward to seeing what kind of shenanigans we might see into Tamburello and Variante Alta. And of course, Ravaza might also offer up some action at the end of the lap. So we'll see what these gentlemen have in store for us this evening. We've had some great battles during the season, some heartbreak, and some quite stellar driving. So I'm looking forward to tonight.
Definitely, and we're already 5 minutes into qualifying. These second lap times are being posted. And remember, it's all down to the second lap time. The first one very much a banker. The second one is when the tyres are up to the temperature. At the moment, it's Daniel Beauchamp at the top. Callahan improves, but this man, Greg Seitz, who is the championship leader, still to set his second lap time. He could be a danger to those top places. And also Josh Cam as well. Invalid first lap, but is storming along on his second lap. Danny Lee moves up to 5th place. Wedgwood up in into 8th, but Greg Seitz, all cameras on him right now. Is he going to be able to move up to pole position like he did last week? He does, and by a comfortable margin as well, 3.5 tenths of a second clear. And now it's all eyes, I think, on Josh Cam, because Cam is into the second half of his lap. Second place in the championship is Cam, but an invalidated first lap, and so this is very high pressure on this second lap we go ahead.
Yeah, I do see we're missing some of the other usual suspects that run in the middle of the field. But it's going to be a good chance for Sites, and I think Beauchamp might have a few things in store for us. Sebring was maybe not his favorite track, if I can put it that way, but setting that high up during qualifying definitely does bode well for him in the race.
And here comes Josh Cam then. What lap time can he post? Can he rival the top guys? It's a bit of a disappointing qualifying for Cam, who was able to win both week 2 and week 3, but it's only good enough for 5th place here at Imola, and half a second off his rival Greg Seitz. So he's going to have plenty of work to do from that position. Only drivers who are yet to complete their lap time is Andreas Friedrich, and Friedrich did cross the line and to go into 21st position, and he's not going to have time to complete this lap, so that is the grid basically for you. The time will invalidate for Friedrich, so a bit disappointing there for Cam. And do you think maybe, Johan, that Cam took that second lap a bit easy just to make sure that he got it in because he didn't get a first lap in?
Yeah, Imola can be quite tricky in terms of getting a clean lap in for qualifying. It's always the chicanes always tend to really mess with you a bit, and the last 2 corners can also send you up wide if you try and carry way too much speed. So getting that banker lap in was maybe a bit of a bigger priority than getting the fastest lap in possible. We've seen him have quite good race pace, but I think there might be a bit of chaos unfolding on the first lap.
I think that could be a very good shout, because we so often see drivers kind of bundling over the awkward curbs you got at Tamburello, and so if you have a bit of that, then yeah, it could be problem central. Sites is on pole position then. Car number 1, Beauchamp only car number 17, but you know, anyone who's watched this series or the Apex Racing League Radical Championship knows that he's always near the front. There's Mark Lobet, and I've never seen Mark take part in one of these races, so best of luck to him. Great to see a new driver, a very competitive driver seemingly up there. There's Mitchell Green, Josh Cam, Chris Cash, Danny Lee, Scott Callahan, and Michael Reinhardt. Behind that is Tom Wedgwood, Sean Malloy, Dennis Kyrkopoulos, Fraser Smith, Dominic Plona, Mike Buisson, Juan Garcia Pena, Robert Woodward. Artur's Condes with another rubbish qualifying. Artur's really struggling qualifying, but he did make up a lot of places last time out. Ruben Rodriguez with a very disappointing qualifying as well, and he's yet to get on the grid. I hope he does take part tonight. There's Alejandro Dale Fuente and Andreas Friedrich rounding out these 21 cars. It's a long run down into turn 1 round here, so I think Sites having pole position, not necessarily a huge advantage, Johan. I think Beauchamp's got a good chance at maybe taking the lead straight away.
Yeah, we'll see if he pulls a similar move to that what we've seen in the Formula 1 driving, but there's definitely a chance to really get the car positioned quite nicely on the inside for that first turn, and kind of just nudging your way into the lead if you get a good launch. But it's all going to depend on who gets the better start and who gets the better run into that first corner.
Yeah, here we go then. So Sites going for back-to-back wins here at Imola. The 5 lights are on, and we are away racing. It was a fantastic launch for Sites. He pulls away from the rest of the order. It was a poor start for Lobet, who's straight away dropping down from 3rd to 6th position. Beauchamp keeping Green behind, and Cash trying to attack as well as the 2 Pure Sim racing drivers are alongside, heading through Tamburello for the first time. They managed to sort each other out, with Cam just moving ahead, so it's been a very good start there for the British driver. Lobet down 3 positions, and I think he's still having to defend here from Danny Lee, but they get into single order through Villeneuve for the first time. And so it's Light Sights leading Beauchamp, leading Green. Couple of lockups there, and also Lobet getting past Cash, so Cash making up that position initially, but he drops back down into 6th now.
Good start all around. No, none of the chaos that I tried to predict, but it's always a good thing to see no one gets hurt on first lap. It also means some good racing to be had. Currently we've got Ryan, and unfortunately that is Wedgwood spinning off the track there. There might have been some netcode contact. He's gotten onto the track safely. Unfortunately, a bit of a rough first lap for him.
Yeah, that may have been Fraser Smith, was it, who he made contact with. I'm not 100% sure about that one. Yeah, made contact and drops to the back of the train. And this circuit isn't going to be the easiest to overtake this season. As I say, it'll be a tough way back for him, as we see an ambitious move there from Payne trying to get past Fuente. He had to back out of that one. Reinhardt dropping down the so Reinhardt's down to 12, and he's got a slow down, does he, or has he just got a poor exit from Gravatt? So we often see drivers pick up a slow down through the Variante Alta, and then having to serve it later on in the lap. Seems like Reinhardt's at least up to full pace now, but he's down 3 places of his race start.
Yeah, I watched a few races earlier that slow down through Variante Alta you can kind of manage by just getting a poor exit after the corner, and that's enough to kind of satisfy the slowdown. One of the cars off the track there in the background, that's going to be Malloy, unfortunately.
Ooh, and of course it got Plona off the track. Seemingly Malloy, I don't think that was a slowdown or even a mistake. It seemed like he was almost letting the drivers past. I thought it may have been a hardware issue for him, but he seems to at least be going back to full pace now. So hopefully Sean Malloy, who of course does so much work to keep the Radical community going, does a fantastic job organising these broadcast races and lots of other events for the Radical community. He has a good rest of this race. Out in the lead, Sights is not pulling away. Beauchamp is keeping tabs with him. In fact, the whole top 4 are all in a train, and even Lobet as well, just there in the white car in 5th position, trying to keep tabs.
Yeah, we've kind of seen with these cars, if you can just get in the draft of the car in front of you, you form these drafting trains, and you kind of get the cars bunched up in different groups all along the pack, and these 4 in front have kind of kept very nicely together. Cam setting a very decent fast lap, but you can see all of them top 5 positions in very close timing to one another. So they're definitely not getting away from one another this easily at the start of the race.
If there's any doubt about Cam's qualifying performance, that maybe he wasn't quick around this, he seems to be answering that very well at the moment, because he is looking very good, as you say. That last lap time for him was very handsome. This could be an opportunity here for Green, though, to try to get past Beauchamp, and for Green and Sights are teammates. Green has a couple of times looked to the inside, but it's into Peritella this time round. He decides to just wait behind. A little bit of damage as well on the back of Beauchamp's car, and that might just affect him a little bit down the straight. It takes just an insect really to land on the rear wing of your car to cause that damage. I do wonder maybe if Green gave him a slight tap at some point in this race. So it's just pulling ever so slightly away here, and yeah, up to 0.8 of a second. Look at Lobet as well. He's caught up massive amounts on this lap, so Lobet looking extremely quick. So Cam's kind of got to start making moves for himself in order to defend us. Danny Lee's just got past Chris Cash, and that's just in the background there. So Lee gets him past at Rivazza, and he's up into 6th position, and he can start chasing down the drivers ahead.
Yeah, it's some of these drivers haven't gotten the rhythm of the track down yet quite that easily. Cash now looking here at Lee. That looks very, very close from this angle, but Beauchamp unfortunately off. That is probably due to contact, and that is a very, very sad sight to see. He was doing so well there in P2.
I wonder, I can only imagine he's made a mistake here, and then Lobet has had to take evasive action, because you can see they were 2nd and 5th positions respectively. Oh, there's a little bit of contact, and Lobet has to take evasive action. Really good job there from Lobet to avoid contact. But Beauchamp with a little bit of contact with Mitchell Ian Green there, and it just shows how narrow that chicane is. It's very tricky to get 2 cars side by side.
Yeah, it's not something I would want to navigate too wide. So props to them, but it's a difficult one to really get right.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's unfortunate there, but it now means that basically the teammates are in the lead, and how often we've seen this one, Team 3 actually. Certainly saw it back at Red Bull Ring. I think we may have seen it one or 2 other times actually, with Sights, Green and Cam out in the lead. And in fact it was that order back at Red Bull Ring, I believe. But Cam will certainly be looking to end that tonight. So these guys are a little bit more spread out now, looking very tight behind Arcturus Candelis. Some close gas. Apologies, by the way, for the slight problems. Although this is live pictures, so despite it saying replay, these are live pictures of exactly what's going on at the moment out on circuit. And yeah, Sights now with that 1.4 second leaders, looking a bit more good for.
Yeah, it's. I think that mistake definitely helped him kind of shake the cars behind him, because he had that train going on behind him. But if he can now just get the consistent times kind of nailed off in the next few laps, that should give him the spacing that he's going to need. Josh Cambia looking at the back of Mitchell Ian Green. He's definitely thinking about getting a few things done sooner or later. He does want to move ahead. Sorry, I do apologize. Yeah, so I'm still holding onto the rear there of Ian Green, and he is just sitting there nestled and looking for any kind of mistake. But Mitchell is definitely not going to relinquish this position. It's been a long time coming for him here out in front, so he's going to try and hold on as well as he can.
Yeah, and he's just about managed that at the moment, heading into turn 1, but it's not easy whatsoever to keep behind the Brits at this point, as again Cam is looking to maybe get up the inside into Villeneuve. Toast was one of the better taking opportunities around this track. It's the left-handed hairpin just coming up, but Cam didn't exactly have the pace coming out of Villeneuve. Wonder if we could get images of the long train of cars, which kind of forms behind Michael Reinhardt. It goes all the way back to Andres Friedrich, and you can see this long train of cars. Not too many changes between these guys, that they're all kind of just keeping in line. Rodriguez and Candelis up 7 and 5 positions respectively, moving up this train gradually, and I imagine they'll both be past Buisson by the end of this race as well. But you kind of got those top 3, and then the rest of the top 10 with a few gaps between them, and then you've got this long train, and yeah, from 9th position down to 16th, just over 3 seconds, covering those 8 cars. So really good stuff to see. Great to see such a competitive order, over 4,000 iRacing, the average strength of the strength of field for tonight's Radical Racing Challenge event. There's Candelis on the top rounds in the championship. Poor qualifying once again for him, but you can see 5.2 iRacing trying to gain some places, but they're all just getting the slipstream off one another, so it's very tricky to really make any moves right now.
Yeah, it's if you break out and nice little battle here between Lobet and Smith, the trade places there through Tamburello, and it seems like everyone's trying to get the moves done through there. A bit more of a riskier spot on the track, but definitely something to look out for in the rest of the race. And unfortunately, that might have been some contact there, some netcode. The bet has been spun out, some more secondary contact there, and he has gotten going again.
That was Buston, the secondary contact, trying to rejoin the circuit, and now Buston's going to lose out to, as Condez tries to go up the inside, now it's more contact, so Buston having an absolute mare of a time, and I think Beauchamp is going to try to move past as well. We of course had that spin earlier on in the race, so man, all kicking off right now, and unfortunately, Lobet having to tow back to the pit, so I think he caused the, or maybe got spun initially by Smith, who I wrongly accused of driving into the back of another driver earlier on. He did definitely drive into the back of Lobet that time, and yeah, Lobet losing out big time. So Lobet back to the pits, and now we've got Reinhardt off the circuit, and he's a long way off the circuit, almost into the village nearby the track. And he fortunately rejoins just in front of this train. And Daniel Beauchamp seemingly has a bit of a slowdown because he is running offline and dropping behind Andreas Friedrich. So these guys all in a long train for a while, but it just was one incident and it's really turned it on its head. And look at Gam, what a move that is around the outside of Milner.
That's something that wants to be done. It's wow, some stellar racing from him there. But yeah, those slowdowns can get quite dangerous if you want to rejoin the pack again, because I mean, Beauchamp was running very slowly out of Rabasa, and then had to kind of pick his spot to get back into that row of cars. And if he misjudges that, that's a race ending crash right there.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, can be problematic. Well, I thought this long train had split up, honestly, but it's all still together. It's now Reinhardt at the front of it. Rodriguez has gone. Rodriguez has sprinted off into the distance. He's setting his sights on Kyrikopoulos now. But Reinhardt leads this one. Then it's Condez, Busson, who got beat up left, right, and centre on that last lap. Then it's Beauchamp, who of course had the spin from second place earlier on, struggling to make up moves. Again, that slowdown on the last lap. Payne has done well to get up to 15th. As look at that big move there, and that's Wedgwood past Payne. So Payne back down to 17th. Woodward gains a position. And now Green and Cam are switching back places. So Cam was able to get the move done before, and he's going to have to be very gutsy on the brakes to make this one. Green alongside, they're super close to contact, but somehow Ian Green is able to get back that second place, and that was another fantastic piece of racecraft from the two of them.
I definitely knew exactly the amount of space that they needed. He executed it perfectly, but that's kind of the racing that we look forward to seeing when we know these guys are racing.
Yeah, I can only hope that we see a bit more of it. Sights is kind of getting away up the road now, as Busson has had another problem, and it's again Tosa, which is where he fell victim earlier on with the unsafe rejoin from Lobet. First gave him contact, all that he was doing so well, but yeah, it's gone very bad for him a couple of times now in this race. It's a shame for Mike Busson, car number 14 down to penultimate position, last of the runners. Quick shout out, by the way, to SDK Gaming, who provide our fantastic overlay that you can see up on screen. SDK Gaming, yeah, of course, providing that overlay, also live timing, and also a fantastic tool as a heads-up display as well. So do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get yourself a 14-day free trial. It really is the best overlay software you can get on iRacing, as Payne was taken off at this corner on the last lap. He's trying to take a vengeance now against Woodward. Can't make it, and instead he's left himself vulnerable to Payne.
The one thing I noticed through those final few corners, the drivers really make these cars seem driftable. We've seen some rear ends sliding quite a bit. Payne is really looking for a gap here. He's not going to find it, and that is going to be Payne and Woodward fighting. Ooh, that is Woodward straight off into the barrier. That car is not looking good as it is right now. That is some bad luck on his part right there.
Yeah, that was quite a sizable impact, wasn't it? I would be surprised if he hasn't got a meatball from that. Because, yeah, at least in my experience, when I won the ESL Radical Winter Series Championship, you pick up, you tap a wall, and you get meatballs. So that's yeah, I think that was more than a tap. Payner has got past. Oh, apologies, has just defended from Pona, but they're miles behind now. Wedgwood. Woodward has had yeah, that problem that we saw. But yeah, Payner up into 15th position. And one of the other close battles going on out on circuit, Callahan versus Kyrkopoulos. Apologies, Kyrkopoulos versus Rodriguez, my bad. Rodriguez has been catching for a while. And the car number 3 versus the car number 13. And now finally going to duke it out. And I think this is a very good position for Rodriguez to be in.
Yeah, he's been working quite hard for it. I mean, Kyrkopoulos is a difficult driver to get past, but both of these quite accomplished. Rodriguez looking to position himself on the inside for the chicane and then on the outside for the second part of it. Still side by side, and that's going to go on all the way onto Villeneuve. And I say that Rodriguez just gets past Kyrkopoulos as I look away. But some stellar driving there in the first few corners from both of them.
Yeah, that was really good, really respectable driving once again, showing that maybe you can go too wide. I was saying how it's very tricky earlier on. Wow, that is a big slide there for Reinhardt. Got onto the grass, tried to apply the power, and all spun up the right rear tyre, and was very fortunate not to spin into the wall, and only lost about a quarter of a second. But he's looking quick as Reinhardt. He's been able to drop Candelis and Friedrich. The train was kind of forming behind him, but instead he's been able to leave those guys at least temporarily, and now he could be the next driver past Dennis Kyrkopoulos, who we see every week in this series. I think you're saying before, he's a very experienced driver in this car. And he's going to need all that experience to keep behind Reinhardt, whilst Rodriguez, I think, was always going to happen. I think Reinhardt might find it a little bit more tricky as Rodriguez is off the circuit, and that fantastic work he put together has been undone as he barrels over that invisible curve as well, and he drops 5 positions. Oh, Cam has got past screen. He's back up into second place. Great move there from Josh Cam.
Yeah, these leaders have kind of been fighting in the background. Lots of stuff happening on through the pack. Green just showing the nose a little bit, just piling on the pressure for Cam yet again. But these front, well, I say front 2 drivers, second and third, has kind of been going on quietly. Side's slightly off into the distance now. So he's managed to open it up for himself. While these two have a proper battle, and that's a very wide line there for Cam. Just needs to be careful that he doesn't get any problems with track warnings there. He's got Green just sitting there behind him, lots of pressure piling. He needs to ensure that he gets his exits right.
Yeah, if he can kind of drop Green here, Cam, then well, maybe he could try to change sights, because he was 3/10 faster than sights on that last lap. It was a really good time. I think it flashed up purple, at least on my screen. I think it may have been the fastest eligible lap so far in this race. But maybe a lap where a 1x had been picked up maybe was a little bit faster. It's now not showing purple. But I think this is going to be another good lap for him. Sights just dipping into the 36s, and Cam maybe due to that overtake down into the 37s. But he has now got 3/10 over Green, so at least safe from any attacking response from the American down into Tamburello this time around. Now what's happening with this battle, because Kyrkopoulos back up into 8th position, but Reinhardt is trying to take that away from him. That was a good line though taken by Kyrkopoulos, forcing Reinhardt to be very tight, and now Reinhardt's gone offline and he's having to defend from Candelis.
On the front, again, a swap between Green and Cam, it seems. Meanwhile, the battle is just absolutely raging between these two. Green slipping ahead yet again, just able to take that faster line through there. Meanwhile, back to Cadelas, Frederick, and Rodriguez. It is side by side all the way. Although I think that might have been a bit of a slow exit there for Frederick. Cadelas able to drop him slightly there. He might even have a slowdown. No, that's not a slowdown for Frederick. Yeah, so they've settled in back in position, and they need to still figure out where the strengths lie, because if you go through that middle sector of the track, Aquaman, Raleigh, Variante, Alta, there's not much you can really do unless someone makes a mistake through Variante Alta itself. But it seems like everyone's picking this front stretch to get that draft going, and then Tamburello and Villeneuve to properly execute.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
no.
that's Frederick spinning out under braking, the rear just stepping out too much braking pressure. Maybe the brake bar is not adjusted correctly for this portion of the race, and the tyres are starting to give in.
Yeah, that was really unlucky. There's Beauchamp trying to get past Plona. I guess Beauchamp's had another issue that maybe we didn't see, or maybe I'm just forgetting off the top of my head. But quite far gone of the Drez, who he was battling earlier on, down into 15th place. But yeah, that was unlucky there for Friedrich. Well, I think he tipped a wheel onto the grass. I think he's only got himself to blame, and nearly colliding with, I guess it was Candelas, who he was fighting with. As wow, this would be a brave move here. You don't overtake the Variante Alta. Maybe you do. Smith, what a move. Up to 5th position. And, well, it's as much of a gentleman's agreement, to be honest, not to really overtake there, because that well and truly it's a corner, which is too narrow for 2 cars. And thank goodness that Cash backed out of it. But Smith up into 5th position, hasn't necessarily made himself too many friends tonight. But, well, he has got a 5th position, and that is what he will care about. White flag is out, final lap of the race. I'll take this opportunity to thank Virtual Racing School for sponsoring this series. And if you want to get faster in this Radical SR8 machine, Virtual Racing School is the best place to get tutorials on how to. There are 50 data packs give you access to setups and track guides, and also one-to-one coaching sessions as well for some of the best drivers in iRacing. And yeah, one of the cars covered by Virtual Racing School is the Radical SR8. So if you want to improve around each circuit on the official series, that is certainly the place to go. So big thanks to Virtual Racing School for helping out on Apex Racing TV, as we just saw Plona there have a spin around. We're also seeing Candelas had to defend right at the end from Rodriguez.
Some action all the way right to the end for these two, and neither driver is going to want to back out, so it's going to be an interesting last few corners for both of them. So they start setting up for Vaza. Well, I might have had the chase on track wrong, I do apologize. So on the way up to Variante Alta, and it is side by side. Who is going to back out? Who is going to blink? Neither is going to be able to. And I think the driver that came off worst there was Wedgwood, I think. Side's going to take the checkered flag well in first place. And then Green is going to be the victor between himself and Cam. Cam slightly further behind than you would expect. And then Lee taking 4th, Smith and Cash 5th and 6th.
Yeah, excellent work there from Greg Seitz and his teammate just behind him as well. That is a great day for the Americans. Rodriguez winning out on that tight battle with Candelas, who was able to hold off Wedgwood at least. And those guys in the back end of the top 10, early 10s, was a very good fight throughout. Payne managed to end up in 13th place, and even Malloy, who was dead last at one point, just managing to pick up on the issues from the others for Friedrich and Beauchamp, Plona, Buisson and Woodward. Pretty much everyone from 13th back had problems, but this man had no problems. And with the fighting of Green and Cam behind him, They kind of preoccupied one another and allowed him to take back-to-back race victories. And of course, Cam wasn't around last week. I don't think Green was around last week either. So it kind of gave Sights a free run at it and was able to retake the championship lead. But he well and truly deserved this race win. And yeah, we'll extend that to, I think, about 15 points after the first third of the season. So the Northwest driver will be particularly pleased with that one. I think we should be able to go through your final results then for this week 4 of the championship, this strength of field race, which will undoubtedly be the most amount of points available for the official series, and of course also important for the broadcast championship as well. Greg Sights there at the top of the standings, 1.8 seconds clear of Mitchell Green. Then it was Josh Cam, Danny Lee, a bit under the radar, but actually only 4.6 seconds off the lead there was Lee, so maybe he just needs to improve in his qualifying and he should be right with them. Top drivers. Then it was Fraser Smith who pulled off a few fantastic moves. Smith in the end up 8 places from his start. Then it was Chris Cash. Scott Callahan was also very much under the radar, but great job from him in 7th place. And then it's kind of the start of that huge pack of cars that we had from start to finish. Dennis Kirkopoulos somehow being able to fend them all off and ended up in a really good 8th position. Congrats to Dennis for that one. Then it was Michael Reinhardt, Ruben Rodriguez, Arturas Candelas, Tom Wedgwood, Juan Pena, Sean Malloy, Alejandro Fuente, Andreas Friedrich, Daniel Beauchamp, Dominic Ploner, Mike Buisson, Robert Woodward, and the one and only retirement was Mark Lobet. He was running Lobet started in 3rd position actually. I think he got to 5th position at one point and has really good pace, honestly as good as pace as anyone. But unfortunately a couple of incidents caused too much damage on his car. I also just give another shout out to Apex Apex Racing Academy for also sponsoring this series. Apex Racing Academy offering 29 data packs, and those data packs including setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sessions, and it's also integrated with virtual racing school. One of the great things about Apex Racing Academy is the awesome setup sync technology, where whenever you load up into an iRacing session, the setups just magically download that software, and automatically week by week the setups and the RPY files that you want can be downloaded. It's all customizable as well, so you can download the stuff that you want. And so it really does take the pain out of getting setups into your file directory. It takes a lot of the hassle out, and you can concentrate on driving instead. So do certainly check out Apex Racing Academy. Big thanks to them for helping us out on Apex Racing TV and on certainly all the Apex Racing League series as well. We are going to have a couple of chats with the drivers now, and we've got a couple of choices straight away to pick from. I think I am going to have a talk with our race winner tonight, Mr. Greg Sights. Congratulations, Greg. That was another really good race win. I've got to ask you, though, first about qualifying. You're 3.5 tenths of a second clear. How good was that qualifying lap?
Yeah, it was really good. You know, it was one of my better ones, so yeah, I'm super happy with that qualifying lap.
And then
I knew I had to, you know, really push that because Josh is super fast. He's running a pretty simple pace. I think luckily he didn't pull off a very good qualifying, which happens all the time to us. So you know, you got to take advantage of it when you can.
It was a really good start for yourself as well. Managed to kind of pull away, and then it seemed to be an interesting battle between you top guys, because honestly, you know, Daniel was quick because he had a spinning in which took him out, and then you had Mitchell and Josh were battling. Danny Lee looked quite quick, even Mark Lobet looked very quick. I mean, do you think you had the pace on those guys in the end, or do you think it was kind of down to that qualifying that you were able to win tonight?
Well, normally I would have the pace. I got super conservative to my detriment, honestly, going over the final chicane. I was losing about a half a second a lap to my normal time there, just because I was so tensed up, you know, not wanting to lose it there. So yeah, it was a super conservative drive, and luckily the guys behind me fought, so I could afford to do that.
That's interesting to hear. So has it been Variante Alta the main problem around this circuit? Because I imagine all the chicanes are very tricky with the high curbs.
Yeah, it's super difficult to get right. When I'm in my groove, I literally, am about a half a second faster than I was in my race pace this time. So yeah, I was really just tensing up and and wanting to preserve the lead, which usually backfires. So yeah, I was happy just to bring it home where I was.
Definitely very, very easy to do. Next up, we've got a few less curbs. I think this circuit has pretty much no curbs, all just kind of flats and built into the sand. It's Laguna Seca. What are your thoughts on that track?
Traditionally, I really love that track, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be one of those, qualifying is really going to be everything there because there's just no way to draft past anybody there. The only way you're going to get by somebody is if they make a mistake. So yeah, qualifying is going to be huge there. And hopefully it'll be up front again. Get away.
Your iRacing club is northwest. Does that mean that you're anywhere near California? Have you ever had the chance to visit the Laguna Seca race circuit?
Yeah, I have actually a long time ago. But I live in Oregon now, so we're northwest is Oregon, Washington, Idaho, I think. But yeah, no, I've been there ages ago, and it's a really cool track.
Awesome. Well, we wish you the best of luck for that one, Greg. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thanks to you guys again for the broadcast. My teammate Mitch, who hung on to second, and luckily for me, fought enough to buy me some time, which I certainly needed. And Josh, as usual, for putting up a great fight. We had another race before this, and we had a nice battle there as well. So luckily, I'm happy he was battling with Mitch rather than me this time.
Definitely. We will see you back next week, Greg.
All right, we'll see you.
Greg cites there your race winner tonight here at Imola. Johan, I think we've got Mitchell Green to chat with.
Yeah, we do. Welcome, Mitchell, and congratulations on your second position. Definitely a hard fought for. How do you feel about how the race turned out in the end?
Awesome. It's always great to get such a close battle with someone, especially a clean one. So yeah, it feels great. That's why we do this. So.
Then you and Cam were kind of back and forth across the entirety of the race, and Cam actually setting the fastest lap at about lap number 5, and you seem to kind of just pick up the pace there at the end. Do you feel like you managed the wear of the tires a little bit better, or what do you think? Was it just a case of consistency was key there at the end?
Yeah, and so far in this car, I've it's because this is my first season in the car. I've had a tendency to slowly build up pace over the course of the race as the fuel, burns down and the tires heat up. So, yeah, I guess that's how it went this race as well. And also, he was pushing me, faster and faster. If I didn't, then he would have overtaken me like he did. I don't know. I think it was lap 8. That insane overtake into 5 and 6. Even I was impressed. So.
Yeah, there was definitely some awesome side-by-side action there. Next week, we're heading to another American track yet again. It's going to be Laguna Seca. Is it one of your tracks that you like a bit more, or is it a case of you've seen it a bit too much in the past?
So. I mean, I enjoy the track a lot. It's really fun to drive. It's a shorter track. So the margins are much smaller, and also you have to, have that braveness for, I think it's that uphill left-hander 7, turn 7 or so. So that's always a challenge, and of course the corkscrew is always a challenge. But yeah, it's a blast. I'm looking forward to it, especially if it's as close as it was this week.
We definitely look forward to seeing you guys battle it out there in front. And then from your side, any shout-outs, any people supporting you that you want to thank?
Yeah, my team, Greg especially. I'm always chasing him. We share data, so if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be able to improve at the rate that I have. So I appreciate him. I want to shout out Daniel Cranefoos. He's our livery creator. I want to shout out you guys for the broadcast, everybody in the Radical community, and of course my family.
Awesome stuff, and I think Greg is also very thankful for the battle that you were having in this race. I think you kind of inadvertently supported him through the race as well. So awesome job.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much for your time, Mitchell, and I hope you have a good one tonight.
You too.
We've got a couple more chats. I assumed that was going to be it, because that seemed like yeah, we were just going to have the Rust Racing drivers in. In fact, we've got a couple more drivers who want to talk with us. So I think next up, I will. Well, you know what? I'll leave Josh to yourself, Johan. I would like to have a chat with Dennis Kirikopoulos. You managed to have a really good result tonight, both in qualifying and the race. 12th position in qualifying and 8th place in the race. Congratulations. Oh, in fact, Dennis has left us. That is a shame. So maybe he will pop back. In fact, I just got a message from him. Okay, so I will palm Josh over to Johan, if that's all right, and then we can hope to have Dennis back. But yeah, I'll leave you to chat with Josh Cow.
Yeah. Welcome, Josh, and congratulations on that 3rd place. Definitely a bit more of a difficult one this week. A lot of battling there out in front. What was the race like for you on that side?
Yeah, thank you. It was really tough today. I made a mess in qualifying. I hit a curb on lap number 1, so I didn't put a time in. And then I had to be conservative to make sure I put some lap on the board for the second one. So started a few positions lower than I would have liked. But Greg did a really good lap for a pole position, to be fair. I think I would have done really hard to match that one. And then it was just a case of trying to battle through. I think I passed one off the start line, and I got up to 3rd when Daniel and Mitchell touched, and then yeah, race long battle with Mitchell. Really, he did a good job today. He had the speed. He stopped us from fighting Greg too hard, although I guess I did as well by attacking. But I was happy with the move around the outside in the middle of the race. Just couldn't hold on to it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. There was some really hard and good driving going on through Tamburello and Villeneuve. Was it a bit easier to line up moves for that first portion of the circuit?
Yeah, a little. The slipstream down the main straight, it helps you get back, a couple of tenths, so you're closer again. And I think I had a slightly sweeter line through turns 1, 2, and 3, which meant I could get close to Mitchell. But then it's hard to know whether to attack or not into the next chicane because it's a fast entry. But I noticed actually Mitchell drives much slower into the corner and faster out of that turns 4 and 5, whereas I carry lots of speed in and then slow it down later. And that was really what gave me the confidence when I was on the outside to, as long as he did the line he ran in previous laps, I knew I could send it and trust the downforce of the Radical. So it was good fun. But yeah, the curbs are so hard. They're easy to get bounced off, and Mitchell stayed with me. So a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we're actually seeing some footage now of you through Variant Altair, and the car is just kind of bouncing all over the place. So I can imagine it being quite tricky to control. Next week, speaking of downforce, it's going to be an interesting track for the Radicals, Laguna Seca. Do you look forward, or do you dread the track that's coming up next?
Good question. I don't think I've ever done a lap round there in the Radical, so it will be a journey of discovery, I guess. I quite like the track usually. It has good flow. Not so many heavy curbs as here, as long as you stick to the main racetrack. So I'm looking forward to it. I expect the 2 corners, the 2 left-handers in the middle of the track before you head up to the corkscrew will be key, whether you can stay within the dirty air. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's a really good event.
Yeah, and as you're saying, those two corners are quite key to the track, especially that first left-hander at the end of that that long straight. I think it's turn number 5. It's going to be interesting to watch you all go through there. And then from your side, any people supporting you that you want to thank, they want to give a shout out for?
Yeah, I have lots of family watching at home tonight, so hello to Chris if she's watching. And thanks to you guys, as always, for broadcasting. Always fun to watch back, and yeah, we all appreciate the effort you put into the commentary. And good effort by Chris tonight, and Chris Cash on the team. Good to have two of us, up the sharp end. Yeah, let's come back again next week.
Looking forward to having you back and seeing you battle it out again on track. Hope you have a good one, and good luck for the preparations for Laguna Seca.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. So that was Josh Cam there, your 3rd place finisher and 2nd place in the championship after this week 4 of this Radical Racing Challenge official series. Quick word, Johan, on Laguna Seca. I mean, we've already asked a couple of the drivers about it, but whenever you have kind of single seaters or prototypes around that circuit, you gotta question the corkscrew. Sometimes you gotta take alternative lines just to make sure that the car doesn't bottom out. And I think that could be quite a challenge in these cars because you're gonna be scraping across the ground as you deal with that tricky elevation.
Yeah, the exit of that corner is actually quite different with the downforce cars because it's a bit of a slower corner and you're setting the car up a bit differently than you would with the softer sprung tin tops. So you're quite right. It's going to be a very difficult thing to really manage your throttle through there and kind of react to how the suspension is adjusting. But then the other thing that's also going to be tricky is turns number 5 and 6. That double, well, I say double left-hander. It's the 2 left-handers before you start heading up the roll straight towards the corkscrew. Turn number 5 at the end of the straight between corners number 4 and 5. So it's kind of your second straight that you get if you factor in the main straight that you've got. And then so that turn number 5 is very crucial because there's a lot of time to be won. I remember when we were there in the LMP2s, lots of time to be found there. And then turn number 6 is going to be absolute bravery. If you're able to pull alongside someone, you might even be able to bully them into a position because it's very difficult to know what to expect when you go too wide at full speed through that corner, just blindly up the hill. So that's going to be quite a lot of action, but as you said, corkscrew could be causing some chaos.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about turn 5. You're absolutely right. Always seen as a corner that can really yield a lot of time. You can just hit the curb right on the inside and use all the check on the outside. A couple of tenths available there, and maybe you could do a bit of a Roman Grosjean when he was on fire around Laguna Seca earlier on the season. Many moves around the corkscrew, and maybe you could see some dives this time as well. That will of course be on next week on Apex Racing TV, same time as tonight's race. Of course, you should, if you've enjoyed this video, do please leave a like on Apex on this video, and also subscribe to Apex Racing TV. Got loads more racing coming up. I don't think anything more tonight, but tomorrow we've got the 4th round of the Apex Racing Academy Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. That has been awesome fun to commentate on. Also got the Formula 3.5 official series soon after that. On Sunday, we've got quite a few series. We've got the Spec Ford Racer, and we've got the IGP Fun. On Monday, we've got the Apex Racing League Master Cup. We've also got Rick Tech as well, the Rick Tech Sports Car Series as well on Monday nights for Americans. Then we've also got the new Apex Racing League GT3 Amateur Trophy starting up as well on Tuesday, which should be really good fun to watch. So yeah, do make sure to subscribe to the channel, and also check out our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, so you can see exactly what series are happening, and any highlight videos as well. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Johan Cairns and from Sam Kume, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time out at Laguna Seca. See you then.